What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Same Difference podcast.
Is this thing on?
I see you getting her together. Okay, hey, friend.
Handily.
She looking good, girl.
You funny.
Is this the style you did on your own?
No, I got the back sewn in. I did a half up, half down, but and I do that so that when I need to redo the ponytail, I can do it myself and make the hairstyle stretch and last longer.
Friend, I want to know how to do it.
I feel like you know how to do your hair. You just don't.
I don't do my hair because I don't know how to do my hair, friend. I don't.
You're so funny. Well, whatever you're doing,
I'm sitting on here like that. Okay?
but it looks great. You know, that's the thing. You know how to wear a wig, honey. You know how to have that shit looking good. So,
Well, how you redo the front? What you do? How do you tell me what you do?
I mean, well, it's my hair, so I just put it up in a ponytail, mold the ponytail.
What are you using?
So I had actually shampooed the top part of my hair earlier this week.
So how do you shampoo half of your hair? This is the things that I hear that the girls be talking about on TikTok that intimidates me because baby, I will be dripping from head to toe.
Well, I dip my head in the sink. I'm not in the shower doing it, so it's kind of easy to make sure the water's only getting on like one part of your hair, and so I shampooed it, rinsed it, blow dried it out, and then I have those little pomade sticks that you can like lay your edges down. So I did that, and then some gel, to just kind of like mold my hair
So
and
you
slick
blow
it back.
dry it straight.
Yes.
Okay, blow dry it straight. Then you put the pomade stick
Mm-hmm.
and pull it up.
Yep, into a ponytail. Do some gel. I'll put edge control, like really try to mold my ponytail, and then I'll put my scarf on, leave it for a while to make sure it like gets make sure it holds.
Do you sit under the dryer?
I don't need to in this instance. Then I'll braid the ponytail, this part, and then I kind of tuck it, like I put some oil on a rubber band, and I'll tuck my braid and make it like this little looks like a little dookie ball.
Okay.
Or a little dookie turd. And then I take the hair, the track, and I wrap it around my little dookie ball. Kind of like spiral it around.
So, but how do you get it so that the dookie ball don't show?
Because I take a bobby pin and I take the beginning of the track and I stick it in the dookie ball. So I take a bobby pin and stick it inside the dookie ball, and then I take the hair and start wrapping it around, like spiraling it around my dookie ball. Okay. And then you pin it, and so now you've got this hair, but you can't see the dookie ball at all because it's been wrapped around. It's been wrapped around layers and layers of hair, and it's a little heavy, so it's it's laying down. It's not like this little dookie ball sticking up. And you look like you're trying to do the math.
Because I would love to be able to do that at home. It would save me time, effort, money. Time.
I mean, it costs $250 to get my hair done, for her to do it, shampoo, blow dry, style it, and everything. And I'm like, all right, at least I know how to do the top half.
Stretch that $250 though. That's what's up.
And that's why we get a half up, half down.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing is maybe I ought to try that.
Yeah, because I'm out here looking cute and saving $1, and that's important to me.
And so this is human hair that you're wearing?
Yes, it is. I hope so. Shit, it costs enough. And when I was in New Orleans, boy, New Orleans was tearing my ass up. Tearing me up. I would have my hair curled. It would be great. And I would get outside and that shit would go flat. And then it would start kind of like frizzing up a little bit. And I'm like, okay, so maybe this is like a little raw hair situation. It's something. But them elements was getting to it.
Okay.
Them elements was getting to it. But yeah.
This is down there?
Huh?
It's humid in New Orleans?
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah. Like muggy.
Okay.
Clothes sticking to my back and shit. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh no, friend. I also feel like I have a more harder to manage hair texture than you though.
Well, half of my stuff is sewn up, girl. I only got to deal with one half of my head.
That's true.
It's not hard to put my hair in a ponytail. It's everything else that takes a little bit of skill and technique. But I've done this so many times. And listen, the ponytail is going to get on. And I'm gonna make it look good because again, half of my hair is sewn and I'm not taking it down. So
Mm.
we have to make sure this looks good. You know, practice
So
makes
what do you
perfect.
do about what do you do when like you wash the top of your hair and maybe a little bit of water or the top part of the sewing gets wet? It don't bother you, it don't itch.
Well, no, I mean, because it's not soaking wet. You
Okay.
know, it's not soaking wet. And again, remember when I did my ponytail, I didn't have the weave on there yet. So this was all, it was all open, you know, this was all, you know, so it can air dry. It can dry just fine. You
Okay.
know, I didn't get it like soaking wet. Like I
With
can,
the sew in the back, do you have hair out around the perimeter and like at the top?
mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So she said this was some kind of flip over method, or just your hair on the top of the ponytail covers the track.
She did like a flip over method, but my hair, you know, has grown. So it's kind of like if I was to like I wouldn't do like a bun because you could be like, oh, she got a sew in, but with
Okay.
my, you know,
Okay.
the way the ponytail lays and everything,
Well, I
yeah,
think you just told me my next hairstyle friend. Appreciate ya.
I love it.
Now, when I'm in here washing the top half of his head and I get calling you, you better
I'll
answer.
help you. I will help you. And then if you want to sit under the dryer and make sure it gets dry for your own comfort, then do that. I didn't do it
I'm gonna
though.
have to. I'm gonna have to.
You so funny. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's not. It sounds really complex, but if you know how to do your hair, it's you know what to do. You done stuck a weave ponytail on before. You have.
I just be trying to finesse something just so I can say I'm out and I don't look like a ragamuffin child.
Well, you
But
don't
y'all know
ever.
I be in the house most of the time with my scarf on my head,
You
so
don't be looking like no ragamuffin, and your hair long and down your back. So that's all that matters. Okay, baby. Because when we comb out that silk press, we know what it is. We know what it's looking like. Period. So
it's just I don't like wearing my hair out in I used to I live in Florida now. It's always some fucking sun here. It's always,
hot,
a touch of hot.
humid.
When I was in Atlanta, I don't know why people think Atlanta's just so hot. And so like it's okay, but it's not like I could wear a silk press and be straight. But that's not the case here. So I don't really be trying to have my hair out, but also I would like to not all the time be in a scarf. Like I would really like that. I just got to figure out what is it that I can do. And also I have been committed to only pressing my hair out once a quarter now.
Mm-hmm.
So that I don't have too much heat damage.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't pressed it in third quarter. Last time I had my hair pressed was the end of June, beginning of
Okay.
June, end of June. It was in June.
Okay.
So I'm due for a press, but I would rather do that. So I'm gonna start sourcing some hair now.
Yeah, I'll probably get this hairstyle, like get it redone.
Did she custom color this for you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you bought it this way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like it's supposed to look. She looking high. It would have been nice to have a hairstyle like that going to LA. But that's okay. We move. I know what I'm doing for my
That's
next
okay.
style.
We move.
I know
So
what to
yeah,
be.
this was reunion hair and birthday hair, and we're gonna make it stretch until this wedding I go to in a couple weeks, and then we'll take it down. Then we'll take it down.
Excuse me. You know something I be wondering is, well, I saw a picture recently on a blog and it was a blue face and it seems like he's cut his hair. You know, he had that hair.
That like flat top situation.
Yeah, but it
Uh-huh.
seems like that he has a low cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I just be wondering, like, when people be in jail, I don't know, like, do y'all have barbershop talk still? Like, I would just wonder how that works.
I've never been to jail, so I don't know.
Me either, friend. I don't think I ever want to go.
I think we're always going to wonder.
Yeah, but you know somebody who I never ever saw in jail.
Who? Donald Trump?
Diddy being in jail was not on my 2024 bingo.
Oh, girl. He's not getting out.
I am just like, wow. Like, I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's not just the fact that Diddy's in jail. It's what Diddy has stood for most of our lives. Like, this is a man who we were introduced to as Puff Daddy in the 90s. And he has transcended decades. And he's gone from the highest of, like, he's been the epitome for so long of
Black
so many
excellence and
things of
success.
music, of Black excellence, of being an entrepreneur, a CEO, and to see this man in jail and can't get out even if he put up $50 million worth of assets is crazy.
He ain't getting out.
I don't think so either,
He's
friend. I
not getting out.
was talking to my daddy earlier in the week. I said, I don't think Diddy gonna ever get out.
He in there for 10 years at least for those guns.
I think more than that.
I'm sorry, that was my cousin just texted me. I'm planning my family's reunion, more on that later, but
Okay.
no, I mean, we grew up watching Puff. I've seen him be Puff Daddy, P Diddy, I mean, we've seen him evolve. Well, what I thought and what I understood to be evolution. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he was what we understood Black excellence to be. I think he is the, you know, he coined the term Black excellence.
I want to say so.
You looking at Black excellence right now. What you're seeing is Black excellence. You know, the way that he would even speak about being Black and successful and having a seat at the table and being in the room,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, this was someone that went to Howard, that got an internship and really worked his way up in the music business, discovered his own artists, gave us Biggie, gave us Mary J, gave us Faith Evans. I mean, there was so much that he has given to our culture that it makes me sad to see this fall from grace.
Mm-hmm. And it has been a long, hard fall too.
And like, I'm disappointed in him.
I think we've been disappointed for a very long time, but I think Diddy has always been able to overshadow his shortcomings with this Black excellence that we know.
And his
All of the
charisma and
things,
just how he
yeah.
is as a celebrity, the way he speaks. I mean, I watched Making the Band, tuned in every season, locked in, excited to watch. I mean, he did the Vote or Die campaign. You know how big that was? Like, I don't understand why someone as rich and successful as him couldn't have kinks that were legal.
Mm.
If you want to be a freaky frog and, you know, if you want to do all of that freaky stuff, you can. But it can be done legally. What was wrong with, maybe, you know, I'm buying out the Bunny Ranch because I want to fuck with some hoes tonight. I want to be with some prostitutes tonight. This is what I have in mind. This is what I want to do. You could go to the Bunny Ranch in Nevada and get it popping legally. I don't know if he ever reached billionaire status. Is he a billionaire?
I'm not sure, but you know what that just made me think of was Hugh Hefner. And remember how Hugh had all those girlfriends and he'd like have women in different rooms. But Hugh literally had a whole camera crew come in. Wasn't that a show at some point?
Yeah, The Girls Next Door.
Now ain't nobody ever came out and said nothing. So if don't nobody say nothing, I can only assume what I've been shown, told. Mm-hmm. But it seems like all of those people did the things, or women were involved because they wanted to be. But what I'm hearing from Diddy is that he's been forcing people to do things. He's been manipulating people into doing things. He's been recording people,
blackmail
at his house. Like, they say every single person that ever came to Diddy house is on tape. Even if you wasn't involved in a freak off or doing anything explicit or sexual in nature, you on tape, because he literally had cameras in every single room, in every single angle of his home, watching people. There's a sickness involved with that. It goes far beyond, oh, I'm into some freaky stuff. Mm-hmm. It is a level of control and narcissism and this I'm God complex that I don't know that we've ever seen. And so for Diddy to encompass all of what we know to be Black excellence, but then also show this super dark, you know,
way of life.
It's hard for, at least me, let me speak for myself, it's hard for my mind to even fathom that being the same exact person. Even the relationships that we've seen him have over the years with J-Lo, like notable people with notoriety who are still around. Now that doesn't go without saying that we haven't also heard. That's what I say. Like some of the things that we know to be Black excellence, we've heard the other side and seen some of the other side of Diddy that is not so nice and favorable and that is frowned upon. Like if you went to an event and Diddy was there, oh, you skyrocketed your own worth because you was in a room with Diddy. But we also knew Diddy that would literally shake you down out of a career, that you would leave maybe having some sort of record deal or brand deal with him with no money. And somehow he's making more and more off the backs of artists that he never paid. People then began to talk about how they were forced not to speak. They were threatened not to speak.
I got you on tape getting your back blown out, and you ain't gay.
Even the whole situation with Kid Cudi getting his car blown up when Kid was supposed to be dating or talking to Cassie. Like there have been, I feel like as the years have progressed, the things that we've heard about him have gotten worse.
Yes.
And worse.
Yes.
Time. And now when we talk about the charges that he's currently up against, oh baby, they saying sex trafficking. They're saying children are involved. This what is this thing that they doing? This pink powder or something? What is it?
He's got some drug charges.
But it's some kind of something they talked about in Miami was trafficking for him at some point too. They call it something pink something. I can't, but yeah, he has a drug problem. Like Cassie has said that too, that he was a drug addict. But I think when I heard Cassie say that, all I really heard, being honest, all I really heard is he liked to party with drugs sometimes. I didn't hear he's full blown addict, but from what I'm seeing and hearing now, he's an addict. Like he got a drug issue. He's probably detoxing. Been having a hard time struggling with detoxing since he's been locked up.
What was the affidavit? Almost 60 pages. I'm not reading all of that.
You talking about the one with Cassie or the one with him?
Him, just him.
Oh, but I didn't know that.
I'm not reading all of that because I did read Cassie's affidavit.
I read hers too. Yeah.
That's where it starts and stops for me. I hope you're getting him. You are hemmed up. You have gotten hemmed up, but there's a bunch of shit in that affidavit that seals the deal for me.
I think that was the foundation, but I don't even think that's even everything.
I'm sure there's so much. I know, like, for someone to do what he has done the way he's done it for as long as he's done it, oh, he knows where all the bodies are buried. He's got the skeletons in the closet, and he gonna open up that closet door because he seems to be very vindictive. If I'm going down, y'all going down with me.
I don't even think he'll have the opportunity to do that though, because Don Richards has sued him down. And whoever this other lady that Don, it's several people, but the one that I'm thinking about right now is Don Richards, and the lady that she mentioned multiple times in her lawsuit, Diddy got arrested after maybe like a week or two after Don filed the lawsuit, right? By the time Diddy got arrested within that 2-week time period after that, the other lady who was mentioned had been contacted 50 sometimes or 100 and sometimes.
I heard about
this. People reaching out or Diddy himself trying to like silence her.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and that's why they picked his ass up.
They say his reach, and they said that's another reason they didn't give him a bond, because the witness intimidation has been off the charts. It's been crazy.
You shit in here. You can't do shit in here because you already been doing too much and we've been watching you.
You know how when people say, "Oh, Hollywood is dark," or Hollywood is
Hollywood. I never got that.
But they talk about it as though it's like this mystique of Hollywood that is just so evil and vile and vindictive. But what I'm hearing is like Diddy embodies Hollywood, though. All of the things that he's done and all of the ways that he has been able to keep people quiet, that he has, tampered with evidence and crimes. It's like this is the Hollywood that y'all talk about is so, weird. It's so, stay away from it. It sounds like it's him. He's an embodiment of that.
Yeah. He's going to jail. I want him in jail. I don't
think he's gonna ever get out.
Yeah, no, this is it. He's already 50 something, 53, 54. He's in his 50s. Again, he had those guns with the serial number scratched off. That is a federal offense with a 10-year minimum. Okay, so let's say the judge and the jury are like, get this motherfucker out of here. You go. I mean, if they're not going to pin him on any of the sexual assault stuff, or if they can't pin him on the sex trafficking, because at the end of their investigation they find that it was some consensual stuff. There was consensus from all parties involved. Though, I feel like it'll be easier to stick him on the charges with the guns, which is going to put him in prison anyway. So I
don't think that even if there's consensualness, you can't consent to doing things that are illegal according to the federal government, like taking people across state lines.
Or you drug somebody. She might have been down to kick it with you, but you drugged her, and now you telling her she done caught 5 bodies because she didn't really know what was going on. She didn't consent to that.
Or even people being underage. I don't. There's an attorney on TikTok who breaks down high profile cases, and they compare Diddy's case to other high profile sexual deviant type of cases like R. Kelly, like Epstein, and there's one other person, I can't think of the name. And the way that these federal charges go is they have like some sort of point system attached to them. And the point system kind of determines how much time you would be looking at if you're found guilty on these charges. And so I want to say the numbers that Epstein had and the numbers that R. Kelly had in comparison to Diddy, I think the highest of theirs was like 25 to 31, and Diddy's sitting around 41 to 45. And R. Kelly got...
I feel like I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find his name before the end of the episode and tell y'all, so y'all can go to your page, because it's the way that he breaks it down is like a very layman terms. It makes it easy for someone who doesn't understand law and charges and so on. Okay. Makes it very understandable and relatable. But with R. Kelly getting like 25 to 30 for his charges being at that number, so that means Diddy is looking at much more time than that. Let's say that he got half of that time. At the age that he is, when he's going to be, by the time he's convicted, or even if the time starts now because he's locked up now, even if he got out, he ain't got no money. There's too many people suing him that he's going to be found liable, like Donald Trump has been found liable. Maybe you haven't been charged with the crime, but somebody's sued you and presented enough evidence that you've been found liable, and so then you have to pay the person. He don't have the money. This also brings up another thing that has been just floating through my mind, and that is, because we know Diddy to be a very involved father to his gang, he got a lot of kids. I wonder how much of this has been seen by his sons, because they are of age where they partied with their dad, at least out publicly. I don't know about behind closed doors. I don't know about freak offs and such. But I just wonder, like, I just don't believe that y'all don't know how true some of this is. Not even if you've been participatory, like even if you haven't participated in it, I know that you know that a lot of this stuff is the truth.
I mean, the one who was the one, Christian, the one that looks just like him, was, call himself making diss tracks and, making a diss track to the feds, talking about, you went and searched this house, you needed to be next.
Searched the wrong one. Yeah. Sir, you're dumb. And the feds was like, oh, for real? Bet.
Like, what?
A dummy.
I don't know. But this lends credence.
Like, your daddy ain't Big Meech. He wasn't accused of moving, trafficking street narcotics. He's a horrible person. Like, this is nothing to brag on to make a song about, sweetie. You might want to sit this one out.
That just shows how misguided you are.
Yeah. And
that ain't nobody tapping you on your shoulder and saying, hey, little man, this ain't it. Because why would you do that?
I'm even questioning Diddy's legal representation, because why was he just now doing a interview?
Please, he knows that man is going to jail, and I'm about to run up these billable hours and get me some money. That's
like, you're doing an interview talking about, well, I don't know where they got the thousand bottles of it.
He has a big house and he likes to buy in bulk.
Well, I don't think it was really 1,000. These places like Costco, where you can bet Costco to release the statement.
We don't sell baby oil. He ain't get that shit
That ain't
from here.
us. Leave us out of it. Now you are an attorney and you getting your client more horrible notoriety as though that's what he need at this moment in time.
You lying on my behalf on national television, and the people that you're lying about then came out and refuted your claim.
Bro. Like,
just shut
whatever you did. Oh, baby, they're gonna make sure that you sitting there for doing it because your lawyer is helping their case.
People buy in bulk all the time, sir. You know how long it takes to use one bottle of baby oil?
That shit lasts forever. Forever.
By the time the bottle is empty, the sticky label has slid off the bottle and faded. You can lift it up and peel it right off in one piece because the oil. Come on now, you know how long it takes to use one bottle of baby oil. Why do you have 1,000? Because you was in your house with a whole bunch of saran wrap on the floor. You sprayed it down with baby oil and you drugged men and told them, go in the playpen and go do your thing. And then you want to stand there and you watching it, spraying yourself with baby oil like a weirdo. Can you imagine the movie, the made-for-TV movie?
Well, R. Kelly's video, some of the R. Kelly stuff had to be shown in court.
Yes.
Some of the stuff, like the initial one, like when I was younger, the claims that were out about him and Sparkle's niece, and people it was very grainy. It was very much giving Android. This was way back before even iPhone qualities were what they are now, and so it was kind of like, I mean, it could be him, but it might also not be him. It's a dark skinned tall brother with braids.
Yep.
It could be anybody.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, is any of this ever going to come out? Like, I don't think that anybody other than Diddy had access to them. Like, I don't think there's like a tons of copies of videos floating around. But I just wonder, in the course of trial, if it even makes it there, is any of this ever going to be shown or come to light, even for jurors to see? I think that it would be. I don't think this is ever going to go to trial, though. And the reason why is because there are so many people in those tapes. There's so many people that are on camera doing illegal things that the FBI got a bowl of people they could just literally just toss around and pick from and say,
tell us everything.
What we got you doing is worth 20 years. What you want to let us know so you can maybe do none of it. There's so many people that are going to be in that boat. Everybody going to be testifying or getting a plea deal to help nail Diddy in the coffin even more. That I don't think is ever going to make it to trial. It's going to be too many people that are going to be able to speak to you doing exactly what they say you did. Best case scenario for him, I don't even think there's a best case scenario, because like a best case scenario for some people is a plea deal. But in a plea deal, you got to be able to come to the table and make things beneficial for the government. You don't have nothing.
You sit there and do your time like Shine did. That's what you get to do. You get to sit there and do your time like Shine did.
I think there's just so many people, other people involved that are going to help the FBI, the federal government's case, that Diddy is not going to have anything of value to even go to them and say, look, I got 30 years over my head. I'll tell you X, Y, Z if I only got to do 15. I don't even think that's the case. I literally think he's never getting out. I don't think Diddy is ever getting out of prison, out of jail, ever.
I personally feel like this is his karma for a lot of things that have happened. And there is an air of suspicion around Biggie's death and Kim Porter, and I'm standing on that. You think you about to leave me and write a tell-all book about me? No. Oh, you don't want
me? There's a lot of people, but it's not just them. It's not just Kim, and it ain't just Pac. I mean, Biggie is Pac too. It's a lot of people that have seemed to have gotten enthralled with
Can
Diddy,
you imagine
and it didn't work out well.
Kid Cudi was in that car and it blew up?
What would have been the story? I think the only reason we know that it was Kid Cudi's car is because he wasn't in the car, because he did live to tell it. But if he had been in there, it would have, like, the way they talk, it's like Diddy has like cleanup people. Like essentially these shows and stuff that you see is his real life. He have people that will cover up crimes, that will get rid of bodies. There's even somebody that got shot at a studio. Did you hear about that? Somebody had gotten shot at a studio. The police had actually been called. And then they had somebody like drive the person to the hospital and say that they were like, somebody tried to rob them and they got shot, like struggling for the gun or trying to like shoot the person themselves. And he had a cleanup crew coming to his house at the studio where the person got shot and clean the whole bathroom down. Oh yeah, and that's a known story, like with fact, with pictures and everything online right now. I think because the person or somebody ended up suing or something like that, or somebody that sued Diddy told the story and had picture evidence to back up what they were saying. Oh yeah, it's a known thing. It's not even speculation. Because people in the LA, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, people in the LAPD were getting called like for an internal review because they were involved. Like they made a report, but then they kind of like brushed the report up under the desk so it never came to light. I'm gonna try to find that attorney so people can go and look at the breakdown that I'm talking about, and I'm gonna try to find that story too. But yeah.
This also lends credence to my theory that Cassie's trainer that has now become her husband, like he saw something. There was a situation that happened and he said, I have to save her.
You think so?
I mean, that trainer, Diddy hired that trainer for her. So like what kind of conversations were y'all having where y'all ended up falling in love?
Because I would think that for him to have hired her a male trainer, that he would have had one of them good talking to him. Like, look, this is what you're here to do. Make sure you don't do nothing else while you're here.
But he was probably like, shit, I'm an MMA fighter. I'll whoop your ass with my bare hands and kill you dead. And I think that's part of the, that was this man is going to keep me safe. He's going to keep me safe. What you looking up? You looking up the story?
I'm looking up the attorney.
The goof one?
The what?
The goof troop one?
No, here you go. No, this is the one that breaks down the kind of charges. His name on TikTok is Kent Law Firm.
Kent, K-E-N-T?
Kent, K-E-N-T Law Firm. And he breaks everything down. He makes it make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one to kind of go get like a really good synopsis of Diddy's charges, what some of the kind of like legal lingo in some of the affidavits and all of that actually really means, what it is that he's facing, what it is he's accused of doing, how much time he's looking at, so on and so forth. Now this is one thing. Now, our community is torn because of this as well. Okay. Because again, Diddy has been a staple for a lot of us for decades.
A symbol of Black excellence.
He has been literally our poster child for what Black excellence looks like. What entrepreneurship looks like. For Black luxury, all of the things. And so I'm seeing a lot of comments like, like where are his friends? None of his friends have spoken out on his behalf, or why y'all kicking a man while he down, and why they doing this to Diddy, and they only do this to black people who got a lot of money, or even well, how come Diddy going to jail and he can't get a bond, and Donald Trump walking around and running for president?
There's this thing called white collar crime. And what Diddy committed was not white collar crime. What Donald Trump did was white collar crime. What Eric Adams is doing is white collar crime. We'll get to that as well. Speaking of, since we want to talk about sleazeballs from New York, I just named 3 of them. 2 of which engaged in white collar crime. Diddy did some other stuff. His stuff is White collar crime is you fudging numbers, taking money when you weren't supposed to,
Well, there's
misappropriating.
the New York mayor who's black, who's accused of at this moment of white collar crime of bribery and
Yeah, corruption and
Mhm.
fraudulent business dealings. Like all of that stuff has to, you doing crime on a cell phone, on a computer, you writing some stuff, you fudging some numbers. You're Diddy is sexually assaulting people. He's
Mhm.
drugging people. He's
Mhm.
rendering women
Trafficking
and
people.
men incapacitated so that he can have their way with them, or so that he can watch other. He's subjecting, you know, his his party attendees, to rape and sodomy and all kinds of stuff, against their will,
Mhm.
unbeknownst to them. So, that's different. That's not the same. Donald Trump's not going to jail because for a time, I'm sure he did play the game, and he's got people in his corner that are going to let him put up a whole bunch of money so that he doesn't have to go to jail.
Mhm.
Eric Adams probably isn't going to, he'll probably get arrested. He'll probably have a mugshot, but as far as sitting in jail, he's not doing that. They're gonna
Mhm.
put an ankle monitor on him, and they're
Mhm.
gonna watch his every move. They're gonna bug them phones,
Mhm.
and they watching him because he's not committing. Those crimes weren't putting anyone in danger or at risk. No one was losing their life or other things as a result. This
Mhm.
has everything to do with money.
Mhm.
So I don't. When people get on, why they letting Donald Trump get away with this, and why they taking Diddy down, because the offenses are not the same.
Right. Well,
At the end of the day, Donald Trump is still a criminal.
mhm.
Eric Adams is still a criminal.
Mhm.
It's just the crimes that were commissioned are, weren't to hurt any one specific person or, group of people. So it's just
Mhm.
not the fucking same. And I don't want stop trying to put a square peg into a round hole. It ain't gonna go. It's not
Mhm.
going to fit. They are not the same. And if Diddy was a white man, he needed to be under the jail, much like Jeff Epstein,
Well, see, that's
Harvey
my whole
Weinstein.
thing is, let's not let's actually look at what this man did. What he did is uncomprehensible, I think, to some people. I don't even think people really understand the grasp and the severity of what he did. A lot of people don't even know what it is he did. They just know
He's
what's
black.
being right. They just know he's black
He's
and
rich.
he had some freak offs and there was some drugs involved, but it's much deeper than that. They haven't even taken the time to really understand what it is has actually happened. That's number one. And number two, I think that it's almost like Diddy is like he is a hero to a lot of black
Yes.
men
Yes.
who aspire to have the level of success in business and entrepreneurship that Diddy has amassed.
Hmm.
And so they can't understand. They won't even let their brain open up enough to even hear or understand some of the things that he has done to men and women, but men too. Like they can't get past that. So all they hear and see is, oh, he a black man, and he had this business deal, and all of a sudden here come the feds with charges. No, no, no.
Hmm.
I don't even think a lot of people really even paid attention or read all the way or understood the things that were in Cassie's lawsuit.
Hmm.
If you were paying attention when Cassie sued Diddy and that went public, you would have known, oh, the feds finna pick him up soon, swiftly. You would have known because of the things that she alleged happened. It was enough for them to look into. She talked about the trafficking.
One
She
of the
talked
things,
about hiring sex
the
workers.
freak off.
Talked about being drugged. She talked about being held against her will. We saw him beat her ass in a hotel lobby.
Yep.
Like those are things that the feds' ass was like, oh, for real. Regardless if he was black, white, orange, green, or otherwise.
He was going down.
Exactly.
He was going down.
And that's the part that people are missing. In addition to that, people who do these things should be locked up.
Hmm.
These are not crimes that we just gonna overlook because he's a part of the black community. He's a monster.
Hmm.
Like these are people, children. These are people, whole human beings, and he is treating them like animals.
He knew what it was to have a dream. He knew what it was to want to be a musician, to have that hit song, to get
Mm-hmm.
it big, and to reach that level of A-list
Mm-hmm.
celebrity status and respect as a musician. And you had people coming to you, hearts open, heart on their sleeves. These are my dreams. I want to do this. It would be an honor to be on Bad Boy. It would be an honor to be in this group. I cannot wait to show you what I have to offer. And you ripped the
He exploited
you
them.
exploited these people. You knew that they had a dream. You knew that they wanted this and that they would do it by any means necessary, especially when they standing next to Diddy. They're gonna do anything.
Say, what artist can we say was discovered by Diddy? Discovered by Diddy. Okay, not managed at one point because I don't think Mary J counts. Discovered by Diddy, and who has success even now. One person, one artist, and who ain't dead because Biggie don't count. I personally can't think of any. This is something I thought about. Like,
I mean, Day 26 ain't doing nothing. The band ain't doing nothing. Danity Kane ain't doing nothing. Donnie Klang ain't doing nothing. The group Dream ain't doing nothing. What's up with all these group names starting with D? That's crazy.
We know what happened to him.
Yeah.
We see what happened with Mace.
Yep.
Lil C's.
I mean, I knew something was up with Puff when Lil Kim said he didn't look out for her or reach out to her when she did her little stint in prison. And I was big.
And there was also, who was the other person? Oh no, that was, I heard this recently that all these people now, and this is like less about Diddy and more about the entertainment industry as a whole, and how everybody is really just giving like, y'all say that the regular people are like so irrelevant, like you're just living on this high level and you're vibrating on such a high frequency, but really everything you're doing and lying to us is so that you continue to have a facade with us because of all the people who speak so highly of Aaliyah. Did you know that Maxwell was the person that ended up paying for Aaliyah's funeral?
I saw that on Twitter and I did not know that.
Diddy, nobody helped her family bury her. Maxwell had to step in.
I'm confused on how where was Dame Dash? You was too heartbroken to write a check? You wanted to get married to that girl. You was giving interviews crying your eyes out about Aaliyah, and you mean to tell me someone else paid for her funeral expenses?
But we see the same thing with Kim Porter. Diddy sing her praises now, but when y'all was together, you was beating her ass and having babies on her. Now
showing up on the red carpet with J-Lo.
Walk the face of your earth.
Yeah. He's going down. He's going to jail. Donald Trump, he should be in jail, but unfortunately he did white collar crime. And you don't go, when you're a politician and you know you got Secret Service and you a billionaire and you got this, that, and the third, you can pay for your freedom. And unfortunately for Diddy, he's still black. We don't give a fuck how much money you trying to put up for you to be free. You're not going nowhere. You're gonna sit in this jail. But again, there's, you know, I don't know what kind of witness tampering Donald Trump was doing, but I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure whatever witness tampering Donald Trump was doing involved some hush money. Where I think the witness tampering that Diddy was doing involved threats of violence if you don't comply. Not here's somebody to be quiet.
Situation is a situation that we know about. But you think that was Diddy first time doing some stuff like that? No, it wasn't.
Rolling Stones did a piece on him. This was before he got arrested. This is before that 60-page document came out. But
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that because I haven't seen it.
Springtime, I want to say, is when it came out. Maybe right at the start of summer. Oh, you know, it was actually after we saw that Cassie video. After the video was released, they did this piece, a long, deep dive into Diddy and how he has, you know, come to be this monster that we know. And he has been terrorizing people since he was at Howard.
And you know, people know about it. It's one of them things everybody know, but nobody talks about.
Yeah.
And another reason I think that Black people relate to it is because how many of us got some stuff in our families where everybody know, but don't nobody talk about it. I think that's why this is hitting home for so many people, and they just refuse to believe that Diddy should be behind bars.
Well, the other thing that I've been seeing people complain about is you guys are all skipping over.
All right, because I cut you off. Was there something they mentioned he did at Howard?
Oh yeah, there was a girl that he had been involved with, and you know she saw some behavior she didn't like, And he pretty much like terrorized her. You know, I think like they got into an argument. He slapped her.
Mm,
I think campus police or got involved some kind of way, got swept under the rug. But I
mm,
don't think she returned to the school
mm.
after that. There was there either she did not return or she kept a safe distance from that nigga for as long as he was out there, because he didn't finish, college. He went for a year or two and then that was it. He hosted a party somewhere and I don't know if there was a shootout at the party or there was something faulty with the place that they were having it, and there were some people that got trampled to death and they were trying to
Mm.
hold him liable because it was his party, but he was able to get out of that, with no charges or anything. Yeah.
Oh,
So
they did their research. They went way back.
yeah, like they like this behavior has been going on for a long time, which is why it's where it is now. It's
Mhm,
gone unchecked, and then you get more money, you get more power. What do you say? More money, more problems? Yeah. You got a lot of problems, my guy.
mm,
It's
mm.
just so he's been like this for a long time. I mean, we watching him on Making the Band thinking that he's doing what he's supposed to do, that this is a music
This is
mogul,
what
and
it
they
really looked like
they
behind the
they
scenes.
don't they're not coming up in the traditional artist development era. He's giving them artist development, he's handing it to them, they're on TV. He was a tyrant.
Mhm.
He was a tyrant and he was mean and he was demanding and he was unrealistic in what he wanted them people to do.
Knowing, I believe, knowing he had no intention on really giving them people to
I'm getting a
push.
check from MTV because I'm documenting this. And y'all not getting none of this. Y'all not getting none of this money that's related to the TV show.
Hmm.
I own this content. My people are in
Even
here
I remember
recording you.
Kennedy Kane saying that they sold out of all the albums that had been. This was when CDs used to actually be made,
Mhm.
but they have ran through all of the copies that had been made because they didn't really even expect Danny Kane to really do it. He didn't expect Danny Kane to even do it. Their numbers could have been much higher than they were if they had enough of him believing in them. Actually, like people, like I think for him, he never saw it as a real thing. He just saw it as a check from MTV. But
Yeah.
the viewers, we believed in these groups. We saw the work that they was doing behind the scenes, and
I loved Making the Band. I
I did
absolutely
too.
loved Making the Band.
I did too. And that first group, that was my favorite. It was what, 3 guys and 2 girls or something like
The
that.
band was it the rap group?
The band, yep. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Nest and Nitty or whatever they name, the ones that walked and got the cheesecake.
Yep, yep, yep. You funny.
Mhm.
That was a good one. Babs, I need to get my hair done. Yo, I'm fucking tight. Yo, I'm tight. Yo, why didn't you wake me up? I need to get my hair done. She was having a meltdown. You messed up her hair appointment.
But yeah, we've never seen an actual artist that really actually came up because of Diddy. Not one.
Nope. That's a dirty dog. That's a dirty
Yeah.
dog. That is a dirty dog. And speaking of
Again,
sleazeballs
I know
from New York,
we said this before in regards to other things, and I'm gonna say it again, and I know it's a bit controversial, but I don't really care. It's my thoughts. I don't think when people like Diddy exist in the world, when the acts that Diddy's committed continue to happen to other people who just keep quiet about it, you are not benefiting anybody. You're actually hurting other people and yourself at the same time. Because when you do get to the point that you want to speak out, unfortunately, you will have people who will question the validity of your truth simply because you waited 10, 20 years
mhm.
to say what has happened.
I mean, there was a lot of that when Cassie, filed her lawsuit.
Hmm.
How much of this was you were in a relationship and you were enjoying all the benefits, and how much of it really was he was abusing you? And it's just like it was both.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
both because he had to woo me.
Hmm.
He
Right.
I was
He didn't
19.
start out being this monster.
That nigga was
It,
37 years old when he got with Cassie. She was 19 from Connecticut. He plucked her from Connecticut. She didn't know nothing. She was just a pretty girl who had big dreams and honestly was looking at him like a big brother, like a mentor. Whole time he over here plotting.
Mhm.
I can
Because
only imagine.
the story is that when he first tried to get with her, she was like, "No,
Good,
like,
no.
right."
And then it turned into, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get this for you, that for you, this for you, that for you. Then it's, I'm getting my makeup down for this event, and they're telling me how much Diddy loves me and how much he likes you, and I know you guys are supposed to be working together, but I think he has a crush on you, and da 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 da. And so she's over here thinking like, what the hell, what's going on? And then she's all dolled up, glam. She thinks she's going to work, and she's actually going on a date with this man that she already said she wasn't interested in. So he planted all of these seeds because he's smart. He's not
Mm-hmm.
stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart.
And I also think that, there are just certain situations, life things that happen to women that don't happen to men, and vice versa, where we can hear a story and we totally understand
Exactly.
exactly
I
how
know
the shit.
exactly how you felt, what
Yep.
happened, how it
Yep.
happened. Yeah.
Even if I haven't actually had that exact same scenario, I've been put in situations where that scenario tried to be a reality. And I had to make a quick run for it type
Yeah.
of situation. Yeah. hmm I don't like you niggas are weird. I mean, y'all men, and let me just men, y'all actually really weird. A lot of y'all are very scary, particularly when you juiced up off the alcohol or juiced up off of some sort of substance. Y'all are actually frightening to be around. Don't want to be in your company. Um, and unfortunately, when you party with people and you are also juiced up and inhibitions are not even low, gone, things happen, and the person who's always on the receiving end of all the negative things generally is the woman. So when we come to and those inhibitions start to come back and we get to looking around and we realize some shit went down that we didn't want to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Then we speak up and now all of a sudden we lying.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that I don't believe the things that women say happen to them.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it would befit all of us, all women, yourself included, if you got to say something right then.
Yep.
You got to say something right then.
Yep. Yep. I feel bad that Cassie felt like she couldn't say something right then. But I think that there was so much more going on in her scenario where she probably couldn't see the forest through the trees. I have had
And there
scenarios.
were so many things that happened before Diddy and Cassie
Yes.
with Diddy and other women that
Yes.
never got checked or spoken up about. Because if they did, who knows what life would have looked like for somebody like Cassie and Diddy.
I'm curious what that relationship with J-Lo was really like.
It makes you question all of his relationships, including the latest one with Young Miami.
Well, I think Young Miami was like, I'm a Miami chick and I'm about to get this billionaire nigga some bitches that he won't because I know what girls is going for. And she was doing that. She was about that life. She had that dude. Carisha. Not to say that she's not, anything or to poo poo on her, but this is Carisha. She ain't really like talented like that for real. She ain't no. It's not like Jay-Z aligning himself with Beyonce. This is a legend. This is a great.
Okay, that's a good comparison, friend.
This is some. Because they're even though there's an age difference and it's not as large as Diddy and Young Miami, this is a man that had aligned himself with a younger woman, but a younger woman that was going to make him look good. Keep him, young. Keep him hot and keep your name hot in these streets, as she said on Upgrade You. Quality song, by the way, off of B-Day, her second album. But like, why is Diddy when he does have access to his pick of the litter, he aligned himself with this city girl, but was taking her on shopping sprees. Got her on the yacht.
I mean, they was on the gram like
red carpet. You my date to the Met Gala.
She calling him daddy,
and Poppy supporting
real bad. That's
where
that came from. Real bad.
Yeah, the revolt. I mean, she milked that situation for what it was, 150,000%. So no, she's not a victim. You a grown ass woman, and you been out here scamming, and you gonna fuck on a rich nigga that's gonna do something for you. And like, if somebody was like, hey, I want you to crawl around, and I want you
got a whole podcast out of it.
I want you to shit right
Oh,
here.
so
And I want you to lay your head by this little shit pile you just gave me that I asked you for, and then I want this other chick to do something to you while y'all laying next to that shit pile. And Carisha gonna say, okay, whatever
now,
you
if you
like.
just think about the fact that all these other artists that Diddy had to manage or put on his record label or collaborate with, all of them came out in the end with absolutely nothing. You mean to tell me Carisha got something out the deal and she didn't do anything for it? She didn't know anything about what his dealings were and what he liked and how to get it and all this and that. You can't convince me of that. You
No,
cannot convince me of that. I
she.
don't believe it. You knew. Which is why I say also, I believe that his sons knew some of this stuff going on as well.
Mhm.
So you shouldn't be surprised that you got to go visit your daddy at his arraignment. You got to go see this. This should come as no shock to you.
I
This should come. But who I feel sorry for is those daughters,
Me
though.
too. You took the words right out of my mouth.
That's who I feel sorry for because they may not know about who their daddy really is behind closed doors to this extent. They damn sure know now. But also they've already lost their mama at a young age. They still
Mhm.
not even 18. They still in high school.
I mean,
Okay?
what's graduation gonna look like
High
for you?
school. And this is what everybody at school talking about. Your daddy.
Headline news. Headline news. Kids as parents is looking
That
at their
gotta be.
kids. They looking at their kids funny because Jesse and Delilah are really good friends of yours. What was going on at their house when you went to go spend the night over there?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep. Yep.
I do feel for those girls. I do, and I just hope that there are some people that are in their corner holding them up and providing an outlet for them, and keeping their lives as normal as possible. They should be enjoying every last bit of being a senior in high school and getting ready for
Mm-hmm.
college and going to prom, especially when my daddy's a billionaire and I can have anything I want,
And
any
that's what
dress
I was
I
getting
want, any purse I
yeah,
want.
and that's what I was getting ready to say too. They should be enjoying that with their daddy by their side. And
Absolutely,
now,
especially because they
they
don't
have
have their
neither,
mom.
right now they have neither parent.
It's sad. It's really sad. It's pathetic. He's disgusting. um I really don't have I really don't have anything else to say about it. You got what's done in the dark always comes to light. Shout out to Cassie for saying something. Shout
Finally,
out to
yeah, I'm
Cassie for
glad that
saying
she didn't
something.
take it to the grave. I'm so glad that she didn't take this to the grave.
And
Yeah,
to all of you that feel like, well, if this white man can be accused of this and not have to go to jail, Diddy shouldn't either. Please stop with that, and please.
they both should go to jail. Like that's the
I
thing.
mean,
They both should.
at the end of the day, no one's arguing that Donald Trump shouldn't be in jail. We all know where he belongs.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you comparing apples to oranges and trying to stand 10 toes down because it's a black man. Eh. Diddy had one job. He had one job, and it was literally to not let down the black community that has held him up for 30 years, that has spent their
Now,
money for 30 years. We drank your Ciroc. We wore your Unforgivable. We listened to Mo Money, Mo Problems. We champion Biggie. We love Faith Evans. Mary J. Blige still got a career. And I want to know what Miss Thang got to say. What you got to say about your brother, your friend? Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Naomi
mm-hmm,
Campbell, too, with your thieving ass. Yeah, you
mm-hmm.
up on the chopping block, too, sis. You see the charity she ran, the board voted her
Like
off.
she thought it like it wasn't her to spend the money. She didn't have access to it. It was somebody else. Girl gone.
This is your charity.
Because they've been talking about her for years as well. Now what I will say is I am not completely blind to what the argument that people are making. I'm just simply saying that the argument doesn't hold weight in my eyes because everybody ought to be locked up.
It doesn't make me feel different about you saying, well, Donald Trump should be locked up. It's not making me feel like Diddy shouldn't be locked
Shouldn't
up.
be locked up. Exactly. But what I'm saying about that is I understand what people are saying.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes, it does look like a double-edged sword. The prime example is, these white officers and even white civilians, George Zimmerman, okay, some of these white officers that literally murder us in the street and hide behind a gun or a badge or being frightened or stand your ground, but then you got 5 black officers on trial for killing Tyree Nichols. So I understand. don't misconstrue what I'm
Yep.
saying. That I'm just blind to the reality of the USA that we live in. I completely see it. What I'm saying is the black ones and the white ones ought to be locked
Yeah,
up.
like and that's where I stand. Everybody belongs in jail. How about that? And we're not about to argue about who gets to stay free when both of their asses
Right.
need to be in
For doing
jail.
something wrong, for doing something they ain't had no business doing. All y'all need to go to jail.
Because let me fuck around and try to do a white collar crime. Please, they hanging my shoes up. Hanging my shoes up. Please.
Yeah. So I think that if people are going to make these sort of arguments about, oh, well, Diddy is in jail, but this person isn't, or, this officer, didn't get any, he got to keep his job, and, these officers are on trial. Why are you voting for Donald Trump then is my question. If this is really
what is it that he's doing that makes it that shows him to be like, that's my president? What is he doing? What is he showing?
What about everything that we just mentioned about that whole system and how it's set up against people who look like us being held accountable for things that our counterparts literally don't even have to stress or worry about? What is it about those scenarios that you keep bringing to the table makes you want to vote for Donald Trump? Particularly when, and this is why y'all gotta stop having selective outrage about things, because I need a few more of y'all to be upset and outraged about the way that a white man is speaking about a black woman.
Girl, talk it up.
The reason that y'all not upset about that though is because this is also how y'all speak about black women to your friends, to your cousins, to your sons, or behind closed doors. Why are y'all letting Donald Trump out here diminish and speak with such derogatory energy about Kamala Harris? So I saw a clip last night. Donald Trump was having a rally somewhere. I don't know. I think it was in Wisconsin was where it is. He's still on his tangent about talking about Joe Biden, somebody he's not running against and somebody he did lose to. And he said that Joe Biden became mentally impaired, essentially saying that in his old age, he became mentally impaired. He is no longer fit or never was fit to run the country. And then he goes on to say, and Kamala, which you talk about somebody that's mentally impaired, you can't even say this lady's name.
You doing that on purpose though, and I don't like
I don't even think he does. I think he's that slow. Kamala was born that way. If Donald Trump has not pissed you off, just wait. Just give it a little bit more time, because he has pissed off every subset of people. Childless women, women who can't have kids or have adopted children, women in general. Okay? People who are mentally impaired. Like, what? How is this somebody y'all actually want to be the president of the United States of America? Nothing about this man is presidential or even at the least professional.
Grab him by the pussy didn't tell y'all that he wasn't, that didn't tell you that he wasn't fit for the job? That was before he won. That was before he won. One of the dudes from Extra or ETV, Billy something, he stepped down from his job because that tape was released and those comments came out that he said. He had to resign from his job. And what did Donald Trump do? He went on to become president. Yeah, this is unchecked behavior. Why did that man step down? And essentially, they gave him a golden parachute. They didn't fire him, but he had to step down. He had to step down because those comments were disgusting, and those comments were not going to fly over well with our female staff and our female viewers.
We still elected the person who actually made the freaking comment. I am just, when I was reading the comments on that, I saw that late last night or super early this morning. I can't remember, but I read some of the comments, and people had the same kind of thought process I do which can I just vote now? I'm ready to get this over with. I'm ready for the election to be over, because it is so draining and taxing.
Like 30
but also
35.
But also it makes me, while I know getting over the actual election is one hurdle, it's like the thing we have to do to go to the next hurdle, which is Donald Trump asserting that the election was unfair, stolen, fraudulent in some way when he doesn't win, when he loses key states. It's like it's like the voting is the next thing we have to do to get to the next thing that we have to do. And I am like, I don't want to use the word afraid, but I am just worried and troubled. I'm troubled at what it's going to look like once the election is the actual election day is over.
Yeah.
And it's time to start certifying votes and actually declaring a winner. I'm troubled as to what that's going to look like.
Well, when Kamala first decided to run, I knew that the rhetoric and the conversation and the way the press speaks about women, Black women, Kamala Harris to be specific. I mean, even the commitment to saying her name incorrectly is just a microaggression, right? But where is her? Even hearing Black people be like, well, she doesn't have any policy, and we don't know what her, what's her policy? What's Donald Trump's policy? Do you know?
If you don't know what Kamala's policy is and what she wants to do, it's because you don't want to. It's because
you've chosen not to listen. And I believe she just released
purposely block it out, and you just keep repeating it, and you actually not even paying attention because she stated it so many times at this point. Donald Trump, on the other hand, when he goes to he has these rallies, he's still talking about Joe Biden. He's still talking about
January
things from the past that are not even relevant. He still isn't even giving you a path forward for the plan of what he wants to happen or do when he become president. He just know he want to be the president. He just want to be in power. That's all. That's all he cares
for me, for self, not for the people, for me.
Right.
It's sad. I mean, I love New York. Lord knows I do. But my goodness, they produce some real fucking sleazeballs.
They do.
You got Diddy, you got Diddy, you got what's his face? Donald Trump, and then Eric Adams. Have you heard about Eric Adams?
The mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. The mayor who has been accused of bribery.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. And corruption.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even when I saw him on TV, the press is an interesting place. Thank you for shining a light on the bullshit, but also the way y'all report on certain things is questionable, and I'm gonna get there. But just listening to him talk, he sound like a scammer.
And that's what I was about to say. They all like when I hear you talk, I be thinking whatever they say you
did that shit.
You did that shit.
Mm-hmm. Very much. Did you see there was a Breakfast Club interview that Eric Adams did, and there was a young Black lady that was, in the room. I believe she's an attorney, and she was more or less.
I didn't even know he was on the Breakfast Club.
Well, why the fuck are you on there? Let's start there. But
people go to the Breakfast Club now. I mean, Kamala Harris is doing Up in Smoke, so.
I mean, but you're not running for president. You the mayor, and you out here trying to be like. You want the celebrity status. You want to get in the room with the celebs.
I think that is part of the problem is too many celebrity focused people like Donald Trump want to be in positions of government and power. That's not your lane. Get a reality show and move on.
Well, yeah. So he did the Breakfast Club interview, and there was this really intelligent Black girl that was on there, kind of pressing him on some of the things that New Yorkers have been complaining about as a result of his, mayorship or whatever you call it when you're serving. And she was rolling his ass like some cheap ass dice. Like she was getting him together, and he was getting so flustered. He was stuttering. He couldn't answer the question. He was asking her to repeat the question. After a while, he wouldn't even look at her and address her directly. He would look at Charlamagne like, "Can you believe this girl talking to me like this?" So, like, you don't even know how to hold your own when you be impressed by somebody. Obama would never. Even if there was something Obama was doing that you didn't agree with and he had to go toe to toe and have a conversation with you, he ain't gonna get up there and get the flubbering and the stuttering and being disrespectful and not being able to communicate effectively. You shook. You were shook one. And, people were...
She's so mentally impaired, but you won't do another debate with her. And then gonna say, well, why would I want a rematch? This right here tells me that you don't even pay attention to your own country's politics. You don't even know U.S. government, okay? Because anybody who actually votes because they have informed decision-making skills when it's time to pick a leader knows that there's no rematch. Generally, there are several debates between presidential candidates
and opponents.
Rematch. It's just what we do. We need to hear you talk about more than one time. We need to hear you debate more than one time with the person who you're gonna go against. Okay, you did it once with Joe Biden, but that ain't your one. That's not who you're running against no more. You running against Kamala.
And
Okay,
that's why
and
he
even
don't
though
want a debater.
that you won a debate that everybody clearly, even other Republicans and Fox News, said that you lost, you're gonna have to stand toe to toe with Ms. Harris again, sweetie, if you really want to convince us, because the people not convinced.
No, what was it? What statement did he make saying like the blacks love me? The blacks love me. I've done so much, with black jobs. What exactly is a black job? Help me there.
Kamala Harris got a black job.
Speaking of the job that she has, why are people so convinced that she's not going to be able to serve as
She
president?
hasn't done it in 4 years. She's not the president. I'm convinced y'all failed civics. It's not possible you passed. Y'all failed civics is what I'm hearing.
If I'm the vice president, that means that in the event that the president cannot do his job, I am next in line. So why do you think that as a current sitting vice president, why do you think that as a current sitting vice president, the voted second in command, why do you think I wouldn't be able to handle the job? You know that if something happened to Joe Biden right now, I'm the president. Promote me, because that's all that this is. This is a promotion. Give her the job.
You know something else that more people need to talk about, which I cannot wait for the vice presidential debate, because Tim Walz gonna eat JD Vance for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if Donald Trump was to become president and something happened to him, y'all trust JD Vance to run our country? For real? I got a cousin named Sonny. He 5, 6, 7 years old. Sonny could do a better job. I'm convinced. No way y'all on JD Vance is the president, because you actually do have to vote. Like, I would vote for JD Vance for president, because he actually could be president without you ever going to the voting booth ever again. That's a scary thought. These are some of the same people who made comments like grab him out of pussy, childless cat ladies, don't believe in climate change or global warming. Like, these the people you want running. Like, what? They can't even, Donald Trump can't even run a successful business without filing for bankruptcy. He thinks that firing people is a measure of success.
You're fired.
What?
You're fired.
Child. So just a couple of things that we mentioned. I just want to go back really quick before I forget anything. The cover up that I mentioned, that somebody got shot, Diddy tried to cover it. There was an LAPD investigation into the officers. That was the producer Lil Rod that filed a suit against Diddy. And if you just type in Lil Rod accuses Diddy of cover up, all of the articles will come up. NBC News,
NBC News,
the New York Post, Yahoo News. There's several articles from Law and Crime networks on YouTube. Like, it's a whole thing. Other thing we mentioned was, I did mention the officers who were charged in the death of Tyre Nichols. I just wanted to make sure that I had the person's name correctly, the decedent, because it's been so many people that I didn't want to, mention the wrong person. Oh, and then the other thing was the woman that you talked about that ate up Eric Adams on the Breakfast Club. Her name was Olayemi Olurin. I might be saying her last name wrong, but I know her first name is Olayemi. It says she is the woman who ate Eric Adams for breakfast. So if you want to go look up those things, you can go look those up. I'm going to be looking some things up myself when we get off here, because I definitely want to see that 60-page affidavit, because I haven't read it for myself, but I'm interested to read it.
One thing that came to mind.
Oh, Kent Law Firm. That was the other person.
Yes, because I want to get on TikTok and check that out. Yeah. Something that came to mind when we were talking about all of, New York sleazeballs. That's what the episode should be called, New York sleazeballs.
Friend, you got to write this down, because you know.
I'm gonna write it down. Let me get my little piece of paper. I wanted to talk about the media, sports media, and how they're covering the WNBA as it relates to Caitlin Clark. When we've had history making, headline making superstars in the WNBA for a while now.
Asia, I can't remember her last name.
Wilson.
Okay, Asia Wilson is one of them. And Asia Wilson is the one I believe that people were like, why is Nike doing this deal with Caitlin Clark, and we got Asia Wilson over here who's been breaking records and who's been, putting on for the WNBA for years, and they ended up coming out with some say, well, we already had it going on. You never said nothing, no. And as soon as Caitlin Clark became Caitlin Clark, y'all mentioned her name. Look, listen to spades getting called spades these days. Okay. What can you tell me as far as the WNBA? Because I've seen a couple of headlines, but I haven't really immersed myself in the news.
Tell me is a great question.
Huh?
I said, what can you tell me is a great question, because we're going to do our best.
What can you tell me about? I've seen something about this racism and these racist tweets that one of the Black players has been getting. Now, I saw somebody ask Caitlin Clark about it, and her response was, "Those aren't fans; those are trolls."
Good answer.
And also, if we're talking about the media, would be real honest about it. I feel like when the media be asking Caitlin Clark stuff like that, I feel like people are asking her questions in a way, hoping that she says something that is wrong or unpolitically correct.
Create a divide.
Like they almost like they want to like paint a negative narrative around her as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're doing that with the situation and the scenario with it being white versus and white players and Black players is because they're women. And there is this negativity that the media still wants to like hold over the WNBA. Like there's some sort of heady, cattiness in the WNBA when they literally having the same type of disputes that the niggas in the NBA or the men in the NBA have. You're
jealous of Caitlin Clark because of A, B, C, D, and E, and it's like, no, we're not jealous. You're counting us out. You're discounting the work that we've done. And like Asia Wilson is a decorated, well-respected WNBA player. These conversations and the way that ESPN and all of the other sports channels are reporting on they're reporting on the WNBA as if Caitlin Clark put them on the map when they've been on the map.
Right.
She didn't even win a college championship.
And I feel like she should definitely be a part of the conversation. She's a great player.
Absolutely be a part of the conversation.
In comparison, nobody stopped talking to all the other NBA players when LeBron hit the scene. That's the difference that's the comparison that I would make as far as like how the media is treating these women. And I feel like, honestly, putting Caitlin Clark in a difficult situation because it's like, I can't stop the people from reporting on me the way that they doing. And I'm not even saying that I'm like top dog or carrying the sport, but I'm all y'all talking about. So now it's like, now everybody hate Caitlin Clark because of how, the news is being reported.
Well, and the way that they're reporting it includes a lot of bias and prejudice, and that's just that. And I appreciate the one thing about Black women, we always going to be gracious. We're always going to be gracious and polite, and we're always just kind of going to put our head down and get on with it. Caitlin Clark, or not Caitlin Clark, but Asia Wilson, Dawn Staley, Cheryl Swoops, Diana Taurasi. There are so many prominent voices in the WNBA that could be crying and hooting and hollering about the way that they have been covered, and they ain't said a word. They tried not to let any of their post-game or post-whatever interviews surround the conversation around the media and Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe and the way they're talking about these women. You don't get to tell these women that they are jealous of this college-age white girl who ain't got no championship under her belt, who didn't have to fight for the NBA to even create a women's division. You're not about to make her the face of the WNBA when we have been carrying this league on our backs for years. I did not know that Dawn Staley, who is she's the coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks, the women's basketball team. I think she's won the championship more than twice. I don't know if it's 3 times in a row, 4 times. I don't know if it's back to back to back, but she is a repeat winner. I didn't know that she was in the WNBA. I didn't know that she was a WNBA champion. I didn't know anything about her as a basketball professional before she became a head coach. I just knew her as this women's basketball coach who's coaching a phenomenal team. Dawn Staley has played in the Olympics. I believe she has a gold medal. This is a decorated basketball professional that I am just now learning about. I've known about LeBron James for years.
Yep.
They've been gracious. They've been gracious. They have let y'all get more viewers. they've let y'all have these podcasts that are getting millions of views because y'all talking about the WNBA and Caitlin Clark. I'm letting y'all get y'all shit off, but y'all should have been talking about us. Y'all.
And I think the difference between the age difference is what's really giving y'all the grace, because the Angel Reese is not coming in and being quiet about nothing like that.
And ain't.
So
And
you
ain't.
gonna deal, or you gonna have to deal. They're not gonna come in and let you keep talking about Caitlin as though nobody else plays in the league. Like, let y'all tell it, she the center, the guard, forward, and everything else. Like, she the whole team. Let y'all tell it. The Angel Reeses are not gonna let it fly. The older like, cause you coaching now, but so she played years ago. She coming in and she just trying to get her team to a championship. She ain't gonna say too much. She ain't said too much, and she could. Everybody else coming behind her. Nah, that's what the generation answer to everything actually is at this point. Nah.
Yeah, it's polarizing. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, women's sports in general is polarizing just because of society and how we feel like women should behave. And so
I don't even know that, like, and I'm not making an excuse for the men, but I'm just wondering, do they not see how chauvinistic that is?
No, because there's been a few female sports commentators that have challenged Stephen A. Smith and have, talked up some shit. Like, hey, you know what? Let me stop you right here, Stephen A. Let me remind you about ABCDE. And then they roll his ass like some cheap dice. And then he want to sit up here and get the and I can't believe you would say this, and now clips of you guys debating about the way y'all cover women's sports is going viral. Is when there's smoke, there's fire. These young women ain't making shit up. They're not making stuff up. And kids, I don't know what's the generation after millennials? Is this
I know they X, Z, Y child or what they is.
But Angel Reese's generation, they not shutting up.
Right.
They not shutting up.
They letting that fly.
I really disliked the reporter asking, her name is Dejanay something, Dejanay Carrington. Did you mean to black Caitlin Carter's eye or Caitlin Clark's eye? Did you mean to black it? Did you mean to hit her?
Y'all don't ask male. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't ask male players stuff like that. So and sprained their ankle or jam their dislocated their shoulder. Did you mean to do that? What? When I was playing the sport and playing my position and things got rough in the heat of the moment, did I mean to injure them? Y'all don't ask men that. Y'all don't do that.
If LeBron James fouled somebody out because he elbowed them in the cheek and their cheek is fucked up and they have to wear the facial plate, if LeBron sat for a post game interview and a reporter asked him that, he's cussing you out, he's ending the interview, and your ass is fired. Because how dare you ask LeBron James if he went out on the court and meant to jack up somebody's face on purpose? Don't disrespect LeBron James with unsportsmanlike conduct. Don't disrespect LeBron James by asking him that. That's exactly what the headline would be. That wasn't the headline when that reporter asked that girl about it, though. Did you mean to black Caitlin Clark's eye? No. What the fuck?
What was her response?
I was scrolling. I think she what I saw was a clip. I think she just kind of looked at her and it was very puzzled. She gave her a very puzzled look because I don't understand the question. And then I just kept scrolling. I didn't even bother to wait for her response because I'm mad.
Doing that a lot recently.
I'm mad that I sat here and watched this lady ask you if you even meant to hit that girl in her face. So I'm just going to keep scrolling.
I find myself doing that quite often.
I'm going to keep scrolling. I don't have to take in everything. I can read the headline for what it is. I can make my own determination of what that looks like, what that might be, what that could be. If I want to do a deep dive on my own, I will. But this is a physical contact sport. Right. Shit happens. People break things, mush things, smash things, crack things.
Now I guarantee you, they don't go to. Remember when I was telling you I was watching. As Passion and I were getting ready for the podcast, y'all, I was scrolling social media. Y'all know today is Sunday, so all of the sports games are on. And I saw that there is a player, running back Tyler Batty, got stretched out during the Broncos and the Jets game, I guarantee you they won't ask the person who hit him, did he do it on purpose?
Hello?
Or did
Hello?
I do it on purpose? My job?
I'm playing tackle football.
Right.
Exactly. My job. My job. Ridiculous.
Oh, to be a woman.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
just
mean, Kamala Harris is getting it. I mean, shit. The WNBA girls is getting it. They just, we just get shit on. Unfortunately, it's
mhm.
we already have our lived experiences as we our individual selves are moving through the world, but now we get to see the way Black women are treated on the Summer Jam screen, and I'm tired
Yeah.
of it. I'm
Yeah.
tired of it. I'm tired of it, and that's why I was happy to see Michelle Obama say what she said at the Democratic National Convention. Yeah, we going, when they go low, we going to hell. I like that. I like that, and I want all of us to keep that same energy. Kamala, I
Mhm.
ain't gonna sit up here and let you call me mentally impaired and talk shit about A, B, C, D, and E, and you
You
don't.
mean a person with an actual degree?
I'm
Me
the
too.
I'm the current sitting vice president. Don't disrespect me, and my name is Kamala. It's not Kamala.
And I will be correcting them every time. I'm convinced that people. I'm convinced, honestly. Y'all listen. I'm convinced that people who are not Black purposely
Mm-hmm.
mispronounce our names with effort, even when they know it. I am convinced that they do it like it's so difficult. But y'all got last name Wittachowski and Kipobowski, and y'all say that with like not a slip of the tongue. Which is why, like, okay, so my brother, his name is Jovan. It ain't a difficult name. It's a
How do
very
you
simple
spell it?
Jovon. And it's many
Jovan.
different ways to spell it. I've seen Javon. I've seen Jevon. I've seen Jovan. But Jovan is Jovan, just like it's a different way to spell Sarah. There's different ways to spell Stephanie. Different ways that y'all spelling Ashley. Y'all naming y'all kids Apple, Clouds, Moon, Sun, and Rain. So don't act like saying a Black person's name is so difficult that now people come up with nicknames. Because my brother, no, I can't stand for him to introduce himself to somebody and say his name Jay. That ain't your name. Your name Jovan. And you say it and you make sure that they heard you so they can get it right. It really irritates me, and I think that Kamala's name being Kamala has been a very easy way for people to try to overcomplicate who she is and what she's about. Stop doing it. Y'all can say all these difficult to say names that you all have. Okay, y'all find all these different ways to speak negatively about foreign countries with words and names and places that are hard to pronounce when you want to speak negatively. Okay, you found a way to say that. Say that lady name is Kamala because that's what it is. She even gave y'all a lesson on how to say her name, and you still mispronouncing it. I'll be correct. They'll hate me because I'll be correcting you every time. Every time I would be telling you my mama named me Kamala.
Yet and
It's
still,
Kamala.
here we are giving grace. Because we're not gonna get caught up in the meat and potatoes of how to pronounce my name. Let's talk about policy since I don't have no policy.
Oh, it just burned me
Since I
up
don't
when
have no
people
policy,
wrong.
since y'all feel like I'm not equipped to do this job. Like again, we talking about, you know, and we've talked about Black women who've been disrespected. We talked about Cardi B. Shout out to the Black women that are saying enough. I've had enough. I'm done. And I mean, even Cardi is Dominican and Black. That's what she says. I'm tired of this. I'm not doing this no more. That's what she did. Angel Reese in the WNBA. I'm tired of this. I'm not doing this no more. Y'all not about to be talking about the WNBA as if Caitlin Clark is the face of that shit. We're not doing that no more.
Speaking of, what do you think about her? Because I'm hearing people whisper about her negatively too, about her having a podcast now.
I think Angel Reese needs to focus on basketball.
Okay. I don't think that anybody has to be all encompassing of only one thing. I think we're multifaceted human beings.
Do you want to be a basketball player or do you want to be a podcaster and a model and a celebrity?
Why can't I be all of those things? I can master one, but if I'm not playing right now, why do I have to just sit the bench and not tap into my other talents?
If there's nothing in her contract that prevents her from doing all that, then by all means do it. But what happens is with that microphone, you get to talking.
Mhm.
You get to talking and talking and talking and talking, and then when it's time to get on the court and you don't do, now we're gonna talk about how you talking too much and you're not doing enough doing.
But even if I got on the court and I didn't do, you would find some reason as to why I'm not doing, whether I have a podcast or I don't have anything.
That
They're gonna talk regardless.
all the more reason for her to do whatever it is she wants to. And two, I understand that the income is not that high, so they do need to have multiple streams of income. I'm
Yeah,
not.
and if you want to talk, I would start with the conversation right there.
Yeah,
Y'all not even paying me enough to not only do
yeah.
one thing.
I'm getting
The
70,000. I
NBA,
live in Chicago. I live in Chicago. I need more than $70,000 a year.
okay, NBA players don't have to do anything else.
I make
They
more
don't
money than Angel Reese.
owners. They don't have to be other entrepreneurs in other facets in industry. They don't have to do that because y'all paying them $6 million a year to blow their nose while they sit on the sidelines. But the
Hello.
WNBA, we actually do have to find other ways to make money because y'all don't pay us as much as them. That's exactly where I would start the conversation.
So, yeah, the media is interesting, and we're being subjected to a lot. Everything that we've talked about these for these past few hours is because of what's being fed to us, and I feel like millennials have been fed so much negativity. I'm ready for the positive. You noted. I feel like things are taking a turn. I really do hope that things do take a turn, and I would be so thankful if it started with Kamala Harris becoming the first female president of the United States. And if Cat Williams set the tone with exposing people and telling the truth about what is and what ain't, I hope that we can close out fourth quarter with a presidential win for Kamala Harris, and maybe that will set the tone for how beautiful 2025 can be. And that's my piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I too am looking forward to Madam President having to slip and
Madam
slide.
President.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also anxious to get on with the getting on with Donald Trump getting over losing and what that's gonna mean and how people gonna react and what they're gonna do and how they're gonna want to recount this and redo that and I know that that's gonna be a part of this, unfortunately. So I'm just ready to get on with that as well. I got some goals that I talked about on my story, my Instagram story that I want to hit by the end of the year, and one of them is getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so I was telling Pasha, y'all, before we started recording that I had taken a picture from my patio yesterday, and it was a really beautiful, nice day outside. And I would have loved to be somewhere on a patio having a good drink, maybe a chip and a dip. But instead, I was a little bit sad because I was in the house and I was editing and I'm working on the goals that I have. I'm working on making them a reality so that when December 31st comes, even if I wasn't to get to my goal, I can say I gave all that I had to give to at least try to get there. So,
and you put in the work.
I'm putting it in
because whether the goal is reached or not doesn't mean you weren't putting in the work. So
yeah, I'm putting the work in. I really do believe I'm gonna hit my goals.
Just because you are too. You always do.
Not always, but I'm happy to say God be doing His thing sometime when it comes to the kid now.
What we saying? 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
You hit your goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, friend, tell me what you got going for this week coming up. What's on your agenda?
I mean, it's fall now, and fall in Chicago is really cute.
Okay.
So we're hitting a max of 70 degrees. The day is starting at 65, and we're topping off at 70. So I've got my windows open. I got my little balcony door open. The fresh air is moving through my house. I've got my candles burning that are a little heavier.
Okay.
I bought some throw pillows for my couch to warm up the space. And yeah, I'm excited for the change in season. I have to do some family reunion planning this week, so I'll be putting the deposit down for our venue where our little Saturday event's gonna be. Next weekend is a wine fest here in town, so I'm supposed to be doing dry October, but I really would like to go to that wine fest.
Wait. What was the no liquor alcohol you did that one year? Dryuary. It was February, right? You're doing it early?
Dryuary is in January.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to do it again for October just because I don't have it's not busy for work.
Okay.
It's after my birthday. I just want to see. But
Are you gonna do it?
there's also Wine Fest next week, and I really want to go to that. So
Well, then you can't do it, friend.
I don't know. Maybe like October 5th, we'll start dry October. But that's all I got really. October 1 is a busy time for me at work. So
Yeah,
depending.
that makes me feel like you said fall and it's a wine festival and it's like 75, degrees at the most. It's giving leaves. It's giving that orange brown tone. It's giving the burgundies. It's giving the boots.
Yeah, boot season is
Mm-hmm.
here. It's here.
Mm-hmm. Well, baby, sandal season where I live.
Okay.
It's
Well,
still
I
hot,
have to
y'all.
pee, so since you just want to rain on my parade and talk about how beautiful the weather is, I have to pee.
I do. I would. I like it in Orlando, but I think that eventually with time I will miss having all four seasons.
I love having all 4 seasons. I really
Yeah.
do.
Where I'm from in Richmond, Virginia, we do get all four seasons. I'm not gonna be able to do like the heavy coats and the big thick heavy scarf and the boots, and I
Like
won't be
all
able
of
to
that.
do that here. Yeah, I won't be able to do that here, but I mean it's still, it's still what it is. It is what it is. So
I love it. I love it. Well, what
I
about
don't
your
have
week?
anything up for the week. Moving through content. That's it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow my social medias. I really don't have anything that I got planned.
And whatever you
Nope.
have planned, we gonna see it on your
I'm gonna
social
try to show
media.
you a little something, child.
Okay.
Well, friend, I've definitely enjoyed another episode with you.
Yes, always, always. This is some good convo, some great convo.
Make sure y'all drop in the comments. Once again, let us know what you want to hear from us. Any kind of content that y'all want to hear. Add your thoughts to the conversation that we've been having, and make sure you follow us on YouTube. And we'll see y'all next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.